What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? It has been such a crazy week. And we're gonna talk about what's hot in the streets right now, and this is the whole Diddy discussion tonight. So, I'm just gonna stay in the area of right now. We're gonna talk about some of the things because I know we could sit here and talk about this man all night because he has had such a long career. So, I'm gonna bring my girls in. Hey,
Hey.
hey, pretty girl. All right. Hey, Monique Nicole. All
Hi.
right. So, look, I got a couple of questions for y'all. We will be discussing it. I want to know y'all thoughts on what's going on so far. I do have a vote that is in the chat, so you could scroll up, and I believe these ladies put it also in their chat. And this is the question: do you believe that Diddy filed was hes wait? Do you believe that Diddy thought Cassie was hesitant to file the lawsuit? Please leave your response, your vote, and in the chat. Hit that like and subscribe buttons, and put me up in that algorithm, y'all. So that is the question for tonight, y'all. So I'm gonna go with you first as far as now we're seeing the aftermath of him signing this settlement so fast. And I want you to talk about the first app for some of the things that are happening online as far as the public's response. Momo.
Oh, me. Okay. Hi.
Mm-hmm. And
What's
then
the
I'll go to Pretty
what's the
Girl.
first question? What's the first thing you want me to tackle?
I said, so now we're seeing public opinion, right? The world is a
Correct.
stage, right? We're seeing all of that transpire now. So uh right now I believe the it's somewhat split and it's somewhat in his favor, and people are somewhat ready to really, you know, talk about this and say that talk about a lot of bad things, and it's giving people courage to come forward, other people to come forward.
For sure. Right now, I don't know if people are split. I'm for me in the comments and things that I've been seeing most people are in support of Cassie. A lot of people are in the comments discussing things that they've heard about Diddy throughout the years. Like you said, Moochie, things are coming up now out the woodworks. So I personally have seen more people in support of Cassie. Now, of course, I have seen a lot of ignorant comments in defense of Diddy. I of course have seen those, but for me, collectively, I think the vast majority is in support of Cassie, which I appreciate. My motto is to always believe the victim. In my opinion, you should. I know people lie, but we're not gonna. That's a small percentage compared to the vast majority of people who do come out and share their story. Of course, with this, you see the typical ignorance from a lot of people, a lot of men that say, "Oh, why'd she wait?" or "Oh, she filed." "Oh, she was a money grab." Pay me for my pain. Pay me for my pain. And if you're going to go that route, if you're going to go that logic, then you might as well tell anyone who's ever won a case and received money that it was for a money grab. People whose family members have been murdered, they receive money in settlements. Was it a money grab, or did they get paid for their pain? You know what I'm saying? Like, so that commentary irritates my soul. But yeah, things have been, the block has been hot. The block has been hot, and everybody has an opinion on this matter.
Okay. So Pretty Girl, what do you have any thoughts as far as like what's how what's going on in public opinion and things of that nature as far as men and women, and your your thoughts on what you see that's going on so far.
Wait, put Pretty Girl up because you still got
I
me
am
up on the
about to
main
now.
screen.
I'm about to now. I'm
Okay.
about to now. Oh Lord. All right. Okay, pretty girl. Wait, I don't even hear you. You
You're
on mute,
muted.
ooh. Yeah,
Sorry,
go.
my bad. So me personally, just growing up in New York, growing up in Harlem, you tend to look up to people such as Diddy, but at the same time,
Mhm.
you have to hold people accountable for their actions. And I
Mhm.
think we've seen trends throughout the past few decades of how predatory this guy has been. On and on. We always seen, just his trend of being like an energy vampire, a youth sucker, as you will. He's, just pretty much been a disappointment, unfortunately, in terms of his personal character and as well as his professional character. And I really hate seeing men specifically, discuss about this money grab thing. If she was not abused and was such a comfortable relationship, why did she leave? Because according, to record, she was given a healthy monthly allowance. She did not have to, pay for anything. Everything was, you know, provided for her, if you will. So, she, from my understanding, she is the one who left the relationship. So, and she tried to leave several times. People may not be aware, but there is an Adult Survivors Act. Is a New York State legislation
Mhm.
enacted in May 2022, which amends state law to allow alleged victims of sexual offenses for which the statute of limitations has lapsed to file civil suits for a 1 year period from
Mhm.
November 24th, 2022 to November 24th, 2023. Now, this civil suit was filed because criminal charges could not have been filed because the statute of limitation for a lot of the criminal acts and charges, would have been not charges, but things that he's done.
Mhm.
It's the statute of limitations is, it's gone. So
Yep.
that's how she filed, was through this Adult Survivors Act. And she filed it just in the nick of time because the deadline was November 24th of this year.
Mm.
So that's why criminal charges was not filed um in terms of this situation. Now, this is Cassie. Now, federally, if law enforcement, they possibly can find a loophole to file criminal charges. I'm not sure exactly how that would work, but even though this is a financial and monetary gain for Cassie, this does not make up for the mental and emotional abuse that she has endured. And people need to understand that. And I hate when men sound very much ignorant when these cases, occur. And I understand you may not be a woman and you may not understand, but women at the end of the day, we are looked towards men as protectors and providers, and, as women, we are innately taught that we are supposed to be cared for. So when you are not cared for correctly, and then you're abused on top of that, that is the extra layer that is beyond understanding. So when people say, "Oh, she should have waited," or she shouldn't have waited, you don't understand how healing works. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? People heal in different levels. So I feel like it's very insensitive for people to say, "Oh, why did she wait so long?" Or, there's not a time lapse when it comes to healing. We have men that deal with trauma from their parents in their childhood that's still carrying on in their current relationships, 20-year,
Mhm.
30-year, 40-year trauma. So why put a time stamp on this woman's trauma? That's all I'm gonna say, because I can go here talk all day.
That's what they do. I'm
Okay,
so
pretty.
glad you brought that up, pretty girl, because that was my sentiment, especially today. Because a lot of people have come out on the internet. We saw that Peter Guns and Rich Dollaz had a conversation about this, and the rapper Slim Thug had comments to say, very ignorant comments that are typical from men when it comes to this topic. As far as abuse from women, and oh, why'd you wait, and oh, if you were truly abused, then you shouldn't be asking for money, and all the money grab, all that commentary. And it's really sad, it's very heartbreaking, and I don't have the answer, but I really want to know, like, one day I hope someone can just tell me, maybe a psychiatrist can, why is there such a disconnect when it comes to men and women's abuse? Why are they so desensitized? Why do they make these comments that are just so ignorant, so small-minded, so far removed from the truth? What is it? And I'm not going to say all men, but I will say it is majority of men. I'm not going to pussyfoot around. I'm not going to tiptoe to spare anyone's emotions and feelings. It is majority of men. Majority of men are desensitized when it comes to women being abused or the R word. And that's just a fact. I don't know where it stems from. I don't know if it's a cultural thing. I don't know if it has to do with how you were raised. I don't know if it has to do with the male brain and the DNA. I don't know what it has to do with, but there is a deep, deep, deep issue. And this is why Black women don't feel protected by Black men collectively. God bless the good ones, because there are good men. I have met good men in my life, thank God. They do exist, but they're very few and far between. Let's keep it a buck. Why is it like this?
Can
It's
I answer?
disheartening.
Can I take a stab at the question? Not can I answer?
Sure.
Because
No,
I
I
don't,
was
I
waiting
don't
for
know.
you. I was waiting for you.
Look, I don't know it for sure, but it's almost like a hierarchy. It feels like what it is. It's just like a system of oppression. The same way how the white man looks at the Black man is kind of like they don't see you as human. They see you as objects. They see you as tools to
Mm.
get what they need to extract resources from. So they don't care what kind of harm they inflict on you, because they don't even keep you as an equal per se. I feel like they want you to clean up the house, be their maid, their mule, their mattress, those three things, rear the household, be the woman of the house, do the things, but they still don't have a level of respect for you. And they always gonna, that's why I always say that power dynamic and that whole oppression thing is a hierarchy that they are trying to keep control of. And that's why you keep on seeing the rhetoric they keep trying to teach it and teach it and teach it and condition you to think it, because at the end of the day there would be no system if we weren't believing in it. So if you drop the facade of the patriarchy and these men being your protectors, girl, go to a gun range, get you a piece, and you be your own protector. Because they not doing it, and they let you know they not doing it. You hear them.
I hear it.
They got the mics on. Mic check. Mic check. Listen to them. They be in the comments. Shout out to Suburbia Jones. They be in the comments. They be all throughout. They tell you to your face, when are you gonna listen? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's
And
a great
just to
point.
just to piggyback, just one quick thing, you would think as if these men do not come from women themselves, do not have daughters, aunts, girl, cousins. It's like, would you feel that same way if your loved one was in this situation? Because when we look at the R stats and the SA stats, it's normally 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 women dealing with these type of traumas. So you may be growing up with someone in your own house that deals with those type of things. So would you have the same sentiment?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so I'm gonna go to the chat before we go to the next thing,
Okay.
and I'm gonna it's a couple of questions I want to ask. Like I said, if you have not voted, please scroll to the top.
Oh,
It says, "Do you believe that Diddy thought Cassie was hesitant to file the lawsuit?" That is the question. The question for tonight's poll.
okay.
Um, you could answer that, and then we'll get to this. Um, I I'm sort of conflicted with some of this stuff, but I've I'm trying to stay real. I'm trying to stay right in the line with certain things, as far as y'all know how much of a conspiracy theorist I am with certain things. But I feel like some of this stuff, he's in that group where a lot of them they came after they started with the film industry.
Mm-hmm.
They came after the R&B, the R. Kelly. And now my question is, because of this now, is the hip hop industry now having a Me Too movement?
They need to.
Okay, but is this the beginning of it?
It could be.
I mean, we saw what was going on with Russell, and
Russell.
I just watched a documentary yesterday called "On the Record." Shout out to Moochie for
Mm-hmm.
advising me, and that was very telling of a lot of things. But I mean, just in general, in our culture, is built on misogyny. But the music business and Hollywood in general just kind of illustrates that on I guess a wider scale. But yeah, this could be a trend, but I honestly feel like if it wasn't honestly, when you feel comfortable coming out against an abuser, normally somebody has to start that in terms of, showing that bravery, that kind of will help the next person to be brave. So I can't say there's no a specific type of agenda, but I think we're at a time and place where victims are tired and they're standing up. They can't deal with it no more. So if there are other people being brave, blazing a trail, then let them be inspired and do so.
Okay. So I had that one of my like this. I said, "Don't trip." I said it. Said he didn't think she would spill her own tea.
Yeah. There's a lot of shame in that. There's a like she was very brave to do that because you're humiliated. Like you open yourself up to so much slander, and you always know it's more on the woman than on the man.
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep it a buck.
Mm-hmm.
And she exposed her own tea, and I believe she has proof, y'all. Proof. That's
She has
why
proof.
it was settled. That's why there was no countersuit for defamation. She had some stuff.
Yes.
100%.
Literally an open shut case.
Yes.
That ninja read the damn transcript and was like, "Oh shoot."
Very detailed. Very.
Well, I'm gonna ask y'all this: did y'all see what they posted in the okay? I see the chat complaining that we don't have a man on the channel. So whoever's listening, they know how to get in touch with me if they want to get on, and if it's gonna be somebody that doesn't know how to basically control themselves on here, they're not gonna come on. So we just gonna leave it at that. I want it to be civil, and I want it to be hold on. I want it to be civil, and I want it to be respectful. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Amuchi. I just also want to know, why do men like it? Really it trips me out that men feel like they have an actual opinion and a say so when it comes to women being abused. Like, you have no say so. Your opinion really doesn't matter. You really should be trying to show support. Versus
I don't agree with all
versus.
that. Go ahead.
How do you not agree? I feel
I'm gonna explain.
I
It's
feel like collectively, but I know, but I just feel like collective. But no, I don't really care, because why do we always have to pacify? I feel like I always have to tiptoe around how men feel. And I feel like this is something that happens to women. Yes, it happens to men too, but we're not going to sit here and play tit for tat. We know women are abused. Black women are actually abused at a higher rate. Black women are actually killed by their abuser at a higher.
Watch what
Sorry,
that's not a word.
Unalive.
I said KI double hockey sticks.
Unalive at a higher rate. So why is it that I just don't understand why men have to always be on the opposite? Like, to me, we don't make you an enemy. You make yourself an enemy, because instead of trying to console somebody or hear a woman speak or try to get into the mind of a woman who's been a victim, you want to sit here always on the opposite side and always taking up for the abuser and always coming up with the ifs and buts. So how do you think someone's gonna feel if I've been abused and I look in the comments and you're questioning me about a money grab? How are you gonna think that's gonna make me feel? So I don't really understand why we have to have a man opinion on here when we're talking about women being abused. That's weird to me too, but whatever.
Girl, let them expose themselves the way they think. And
Okay,
y'all,
hold on. We not going. I
please
I
let
feel
them
like
talk.
we want. I don't want to put men in one category because everybody is not like that.
But what did I say? But hold on, that means you're
And
not
I know
listening.
you did say that, but I'm just reiterating so that way they could see. I don't want this to be a biased opinion. I want I want everybody to express their opinions and how they feel, and I don't want it to just be a one sided thing. I'm trying to how can I say it? I'm trying to look at all aspects in this where I want to see. I want to know everybody's opinions and I want to respect everybody's opinions. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, but I feel like I want to hear some of these men's opinions, but I feel like
We're
with
hearing them.
this, we are hearing them, but I feel like with this, I feel like the writing's on the wall with some of this stuff.
Elaborate.
Not meaning we know something happened.
Right.
It's proof of it. It has to be for him to turn around and do this. It I feel like if this would have went to court, this could have turned into a another case for a criminal case for him, and
Right.
that's why
Mm-hmm.
this was shut down. So
Mm-hmm.
ultimately, if he knew this was coming, and this is where I'm getting to. This is why I'm circling, getting to my point before I go to the chat. He had, remember we heard this in September when he was talking about giving his artists their royalties back. So
Mm-hmm.
everybody was thinking, oh, this is so nice. Oh, this is wonderful. Oh, he's finally doing the right thing. But it came with a lot of stipulations. But if this would have went to court, let's say if she didn't take the money, and this would have went to court, and it would have been a trial, because we know it wouldn't have been no criminal thing because there is a statute of limitation. But being that whole thing came out where they were doing a negotiation about the settlement and where he's saying he wasn't going to give in, and everything in the documents was exposed. This basically did a matter of public opinion. So
Right.
do you feel like that this is going to tarnish him where he's no more good, or do you think this is like what 50 said, the blood is in the water and sharks is coming?
I think it's a little bit of both. Like I said to somebody earlier, I was like, even if, okay, let's say in a year's time the dust settles and his career is not over or whatever. I don't think his career is over, but what I will say is his career, his reputation, and his legacy will for now ever be tarnished, and that is almost worse because it's tarnished. It's even if you rise above this, even if the dust settles and you're able to still be successful, your image, legacy, reputation is forever tarnished. So
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Can I ask a question? My question is, if you shout out to the people who don't read, but if you read the 35-page horrific telling of the situation, the details, how do you say that it's a money grab when clearly she needs to be paid for her pain and suffering?
they ain't read it.
They didn't.
A lot of people haven't, and and me myself personally, the way it was in the YouTube streets, you don't even have to read it. I did put I read it,
Yeah.
But it's people that's reading it to you like Mother Goose. You could go to Lovely T
Yep.
channel. She's reading this to you and breaking it down. I put her link in my description
Yep.
so that way y'all can know what's really going on, because people's leaving opinions and not knowing the whole story or not seeing everything that's going on.
Exactly.
And I this is why I'm conflicted, where I think some people are agreeing with him just because who he is, because they still look up to him and see him as this guy
And that's
that,
what he knows.
you know, and he knows that. But I'm not. I don't want. I feel like every person should have their chance, but I feel like he's done so much and so many things has happened. What more are people going to ignore?
Mm.
And I feel like he's this is when my conspiracy things kicked in.
Hmm.
And you know how you, if you choosing to play with those type of people, a black man is never going to come out on top with those people. And you're never going to walk away with your money. You'll walk away with an asterisk or something. uh I'm looking at all of this, and not to say, I feel like they find out these people vices and they give them their own rope to hang themselves.
They do.
I'm gonna
And,
go
and
to the
and that
chat.
was
Oh,
one
okay.
of my things. Like, I understand the conspiracies. I was once that woman. I was male identified, and I was that person. But then I started like opening in my eyes, and I'm like, well, I'm not living in no land of delusion. I'm so sorry. I'm just not that person. Like, once I seen it for myself, and so, thank God for social media, because baby, it's on display every day, 10, 15 times a day. And what I'll say, you can't have a target on your back if you were acting as an upstanding citizen, because they wouldn't have nothing to come to you with. They can't get you if you haven't done anything. And we know the stories. There's so many interviews out here in these streets where Puffy said things. Straight black men have told on him, said things were suspect, things wasn't right, things this. And I think that's the only reason why some black people, black men, are kind of believing him, because a straight black man has said, like, co-signed it in a sense. Young Jock, Kid Cudi, I think it was a couple other people. I think Peter Gunn. No,
No.
oh no, not Peter Guns. Peter Guns is
There was this other
bottom of
producer,
the trash.
that worked with Wale,
Okay, yeah.
told a
Yeah,
story.
I got that
Yeah,
too.
there are a couple of people, and that's the only way that a woman can have a fighting chance as somebody trying to believe her story, if another man co-signs it.
Yeah. And just so the
And we've
chat
seen it.
knows, just so the chat knows and the panel know, for me, I have actually always been a fan of Diddy. So my commentary is coming from someone who actually liked Diddy, who was a fan of his. I grew up on his music. I feel like I grew up with Diddy. He's been a part of my, like, my whole life. Culturally, he's part of black culture. You know what I'm saying? Whether you like him or not, he's part of black culture. So this is very upsetting for me. I'm very disappointed by this. I'm not ashamed to say I was a fan of Diddy's. Yes, I heard things throughout the years, but maybe I was living under a rock. A lot of the commentary that I heard about Diddy, the negative stuff, really pertained to him as a businessman, bad contracts, not paying his artists, Bad Boy Records. That's really what I heard throughout my years when it came to Diddy in a negative light.
But that speaks to a person's character.
I
Okay,
never
so
heard the other stuff.
okay.
So,
All right, so I'm gonna put this question out.
mm-hmm.
This is his opinion. He says she didn't file a lawsuit. She filed a money grab. This is what basically, look, we gonna have to address it. If someone SAs you, you go to civil court, you go to police, not civil court. But the expiration date is too late to file charges like that, criminal charges. but they did. If it did go to court, it could have went to trafficking charges if things would have went to court. I mean,
I hope
nobody, like, again,
there's still
nobody's
time to
reading
do
the
it, right?
whole nobody's reading the whole legal documents where they're seeing what's transpiring and what's being said in this. Where they, if he didn't take this, I believe they was gonna line him up another way.
Mm-hmm.
This is so frustrating to me because it seems like some men have the opinion and the mindset like, oh, a woman gets physically assaulted
Mm-hmm.
and she gets up, put on her underwear, and walk to the police station as if this is a normal crime. This
Like
is
it's Law
not
and
a
Order
normal
SVU.
crime. Especially, there's women out there that has this happen from a complete stranger, or there's women that gets this happened to them with someone that just grabs them on the street, whatever. But this is a particularly different situation because he was her boss. He was pretty much her spouse, if you will. I mean, they wasn't married, but they were together for over a decade. So he had a lot of leverage and a lot of power. And if you read that 35-page document, you could see and read the things he's done throughout the years to keep her under control. She was 19, he was in his mid-30s. It's just frustrating that you guys cannot comprehend that being assaulted and abused and used in these manners, it would just be a situation you could just walk away from and report it and then move on with your life. Trauma happens to different people in different ways. Some people can report it the next day. That is situations that happen that way. And it takes people 10 years to heal. And then some people go to their grave with this drama and with this trauma. The fact that you guys constantly, some guys just put a time limit is just really insensitive and really frustrating.
And they're not going to change because there's no accountability for Black men. Every Black woman that's male identified, they see the Black man as a victim, and the men expect you to treat them as such. So they always feel like you're supposed to protect me. I don't care. You going to protect the Black man. Like, I mean, it feels like that's the angle. There's no level of accountability that can be taken if there was a criminal thing done. But what I want to let y'all know is that it was always civil. It was always money. She couldn't get the criminal. She passed the thing. Pretty Girl had already said it earlier. She explained it. Listen, so it frustrates me again when you tell me that I've been sex trafficked. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope you can say that. I ain't say the other word, but
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you
and,
can't
and,
say ST and just say
oh,
S
the
trafficking.
ST traffic and kicked in the face, bust in the lip, stomped out,
Okay.
ran, and you don't think a
Okay.
person is entitled to some money? Are you kidding?
I don't understand. Like, that's why I brought up the point earlier about the legal system and how victims get paid all the time. Family members get paid all the time. People that go to prison innocently get paid all the time. So you're telling me those people, I mean, what are you to say? You don't get mad at the victims who get paid out by the police department and the government. You're not questioning their family. If you have that same logic, then you can say, oh, money was equivalent to the loss of their child. Like, come on, if you're gonna have that type of logic. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't like this. Someone in the comments said it sounds like male bashing. This is my issue. Anytime someone has something to say, and a lot of us, we do disclaimers, we say it's not all men, we say all that, and it's still not good enough for y'all. Every time a woman expresses herself about a frustration with the male species, you guys take it as male bashing. And that's why we're never going to learn from each other, because no one wants to listen to each other. It's not male bashing. You might be a good person. You might be a amazing man, but Tom, Dick, and Harry next door to you may not be. So don't get offended if it's not pertaining to you. You might be an amazing man, and I hope you can be an influence to somebody else. But there are some evil people in this world, and there are certain things that a lot of men do that are not right. It's
And
not male dominating.
and the good guys are very quiet. They don't when it's time to speak up, they not speaking up.
Some
Okay,
do.
so
It be
I,
Some
I'm
do.
glad. I'm
Some do.
glad you mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned that. So I want to segue into that. So since she came forward and people took took their publishing back from Bad Boy, that's where I want to get into right now. Will there be more people coming out? Is there anybody next? And I have the reason why I mentioned it because I saw Danity Kane
mm-hmm.
was very supportive of her, and does it look like they're gonna just say forget about the whole thing with the royalties and come forth, or do you think they're gonna stay quiet because of what has happened?
I don't know. I know one of them was speaking up. I'm not quite sure, but that the light skinned one, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Aubrey, the white girl.
Yeah. Oh, she's white.
Mm-hmm.
My bad. I ain't
Yeah.
watching making the band or whatever. But yeah, she spoke up and she said that she was not down for what was going down. Almost like a rite of passage. Like you remember how on Love and Hip Hop, how not Peter Guns, what's his name, Rich Dollars. If they don't sleep with them, they not giving you the beats. They not putting you on. That is like a rite of passage, and I feel like that's why they try to get them so young because they're so naive and so dumb, and they've had the conditioning to yes, let's do this, and let's do
The
that, and
groom.
then like a case like me, I can't protect you. If you think you grown and you want to jump out there and do what you're doing, then that's on you. And then we gotta wash our hands of it. You're grown technically at 19. But look, it's not just 19. Marcus
Okay, so
Houston. Marcus Houston. He was seeing that girl at 16. And when she became legal, he married her. They get them young. They get them young. And they don't know, they have not experienced the man. That's why the older men go after the younger women so that they can play these mind games and get them emotionally attached. She was in a full-blown relationship with her employer who was
yeah,
higher than
to
her.
me, she was too young. She was too young to deal
Yes,
with something like that. She didn't know what she was dealing with.
he was
He's
taking
twice her
advantage of
age.
her.
Exactly. I want to know where her parents was. I'm still asking this question because
You
at
can't
that
put it
time
in
she was young
her.
enough to. I'm I'm sorry. I'm not putting.
I know, but I'm just saying because
When she got her deal, she was a minor still. So where was her parents?
Oh, they were there.
Mhm.
How were they not saying anything?
with the
Same
other
with
guy, is that the Ryan Leslie boy?
That
she
was
was dating him, and
yeah,
even
that
though
was
he wasn't
She
as
was
old as
with
Diddy,
him
he
earlier.
was still too
Mhm.
old.
Okay.
He was still too old for her, in my opinion. But
Mhm.
All right, and I'm getting to Ryan Leslie. I want to show that
Jay-Z
little
and
clip real
Beyonce.
fast.
yeah, Jay-Z
Look,
and
It happens
Beyonce,
all
yeah,
the time. The fact that he signed Cassie to a 10 album deal.
crazy.
yes.
10 albums.
Who done had 10 albums?
You thought you were gonna get 10 albums out that girl who
No,
could barely sing?
no, he
Let's
was
be
getting a
real.
slave. He was getting a
He
slave.
knew what
That's
he
what
was
he was getting.
doing. I'm just say that.
He was getting a
10
slave.
albums. Diddy, you something else, boy.
All right, so I'm gonna share this clip right now where you can hear it. Y'all ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, let me go to the beginning.
Diddy and Cassie ruined your moment. Do you think that Did it
Turn
ruin
it up.
momentum? Well, I mean, in terms of what? In
Just
terms,
music.
just in music.
Yeah, the music.
No, I think it actually was great for my momentum. Some of the best songs that I ever wrote had to do with that breakup. So whether it's people's favorite songs like Out of the Blue or any of the records that are on that second album or even Diamond Girl, a lot of those songs. I mean, really, the story behind Diamond Girl was we were working on Cassie's second album in LA, and because of whatever was going on personally in her life, she didn't show up at the studio that day. I had that beat ready to go. She didn't show up at the studio. I recorded Diamond Girl. So I think that from a music standpoint, the greatest music is always born out of whatever you're going through.
Mary J. Blige,
All right. So I know I got to do something about the music, y'all. I'm sorry. So what's y'all take on this thing with this whole guy with what he's saying? He was an older gentleman too. It looks like, I mean, to me, I feel like where was her parents when all of this was going on? So to me, all of this, I got questions with this too.
Well, with the parents, that's kind of a layer question because there's some parent we saw Leah. Her
Yeah.
parents was around, but at some level, at some point, when your child is thrust in the music business, anything could happen. You could have parents that are being, they're benefiting from it too. Because from my understanding, I heard when, Cassie was first signed, the parents were there when Diddy bought the apartment. They was very, there to tour the apartment with her when she first got it. They get, she was given a car. We don't know. I'm just speculating, but it's possible that the parents thought everything was fine. Kids don't tell their parents everything. And
Everything.
she was 19-ish, so technically she was an adult. You know what I'm saying? Even if she did have parents that were fully understanding of what was going on, that doesn't mean she would have left the situation or that they could have done anything. We see Cassie was out in the forefront and plenty of other celebrities that they did not match the power that Diddy had. Diddy has, as we see, we're not going to go into the conspiracies, but this man has allegedly had a lot to do with a lot of things. And this is one of the most powerful people that we have in hip hop or in urban music. So to think that, some, naive 19-year-old girls' parents can really influence anything in this situation, that's kind of, I won't say a lot to ask for, but I'm not surprised that they was unable to change the situation. We see regular girls, and I'm not saying Kat's not a regular girl, but we see girls not in the music industry go through abusive relationships, and their parents can do but so much, because at the end of the day, it's up to them that can change it. I personally have someone in my family that's been in an abusive situation, and if they're not ready to leave or not feel equipped to leave, they can't, or they feel like they can't leave, they're not going to leave.
The statistics say when you're in a domestic abuse DA situation, it takes the woman at least 7 times to try to leave. 7 times. We seen it in P Valley. We seen how that man did that and how she kept trying and she couldn't do it and she kept going back. And there's a lot of different, it's nuances to these things. It's almost like sometimes when you're in a relationship with a SA or DV thing, they actually have some, it's almost like, what is that thing called? With the person kind of has compassion for their
the Stockholm syndrome.
It's just like that. That's why it takes so long for them to leave, because men have this thing where they know that they can get a woman emotionally attached, and then they can drop the mask, and then they can start doing how they want to do. And then she's stuck, especially if she's young.
Mm-hmm.
But you ain't never gonna come around no 40-year-old woman and pull that trick. Well, maybe,
because if they broke and they hurting, you gotta look at it like this. We don't know the situation she came from either.
Right.
We don't know the
Yeah.
situation she came from, where she probably was like, you know what, I might just have to handle this for a while,
Yeah.
and
Well,
or
also,
how can I say it? I won't say it like that.
sorry, not you,
Uh,
not you. Something different.
what I was gonna say is, don't let it. What I was gonna say is, you know how you get into a situation and you be like, well, how the heck am I gonna get out of this? And nobody's giving that because of her age and her being naive and her thinking that this man, she's seeing him just like everybody else see him in the public eye.
With
And,
stars in her eyes.
exactly, and this is, and I think sometimes at first, with all the glitz and glamour and everybody doing this and these wild parties and this and that, she's caught up. And then you throwing, substances in the mix too. And now this is a child that's getting addicted to substances. And that was the beginning of the relationship, according to the the legal documents. So uh I'm this is why I say I'm torn. This is why I say this is where I'm at with this, because I know she was hurt, but I feel like it's some things are sometimes bigger than all of us when it comes to these things.
What are you torn about?
Huh?
What are you torn about exactly?
What I'm talking about, like that, and I'm trying not to.
What are you torn about? Torn about?
What am I torn about? Because I still have my conspiracy theory thing on with this, and everything was going all right till he talked about suing Ciroc and suing those people with the liquor, and then the thing happened with his son. So did he piss somebody off where this was set into motion?
Nah, this happened way before that. She got the ball rolling on this probably at least a year ago.
Wait, pretty girl, you on mute.
Pretty girl.
So with her coming forth, is that what you're the fact that she came forth, is that what you're talking about? If it was something that she decided to do or was pushed to do, is that what you're stating? I'm just trying to get
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Where everybody because what if or how can I say this? She had to come to him the first time where he knew this was coming, where he set up the whole thing with the giving people back their publishing. So I'm gonna go to this question. We don't know if she's dealing with that. She's being paid a hefty amount. To if she's being AB, she needed to come forward. I do believe she needs to come forward, but you got to look at all of the stuff people be saying that he possibly did and what he was capable of. You don't think somebody was afraid to come forth?
He blew up Kid Cudi's car, y'all. Kid Cudi came out and said it was true.
I think it's just up to the feds now. The feds, and the authorities, NYPD.
I remember this too. A lot of people don't remember all of this stuff.
Need to do. And
a lot of people don't remember this.
Investigate them.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's wild.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, y'all talking about this, but I was around from when Bad Boy was coming out, where before social media, and it's people that got things,
stories,
yeah.
So it's just like I'm.
That's why I don't understand why people think he's some kind of angel. Like, we done heard the stories. Like, I don't know. I'm confused.
I think this
is Puffy time is up. He's not the gatekeeper anymore. That's where I'm with the and that was my question. I think this is like a takedown, and I'm not discrediting her, but I feel like they have things set into motion in case things go sideways. Mm-hmm. Where it seemed like, and keep in mind, like I said, they give you the tools to basically hang yourself. They know his vices. Everybody knows he's been given these wild parties. Everybody knows, like, and now he was even becoming even more boisterous the older he got with things. where he wasn't, he felt like I'm
He
just
kept
get
speaking for him.
I'm trying to get both sides of the story. So I'm that's where I'm at with this. I'm trying to really be careful with my words. But Mary J has never said anything bad about Diddy, and Mary is the realest.
She was going through her thing with
Yeah, she got her own problems
KC.
right now.
Wasn't in KC and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Like she was going through that with him.
exactly. Nobody's remembering things. She was going through her little thing too. So, and
She
and,
had
and
her
I
own
believe
thing
she
going.
wasn't the only one.
And it's not on
And
her.
I was gonna also ask this question because who y'all think didn't take the publishing?
Hmm?
I said out of the Bad Boy people that was on the Bad Boy label, we got. I'm asking, who do y'all think didn't take the publishing?
Who did
I
not?
I was under the impression that Aubrey from Diddy Kane didn't take it because
Yeah,
she
she did. I don't think
refused.
she did. The way she
Yeah,
was
she
talking.
refused to abide by um the terms
The
of
term.
the
Yep.
yeah.
Okay, so these are all the people. I don't know if everybody in that group took it, but I know Mace did because when he was talking about an incident on his podcast, he mentioned something, and the way he was talking, he was very careful with his words. And I also did my research. He was one of them that took the deal. Faith Evans, 112, the locks. I don't know if all of these members did not take the deal. As far as Danity Kane, I don't know. You got to remember the other artists he also had. This group B5, they didn't take the deal. They wasn't even mentioned. But remember, these kids, they were kids when they came out. And to me, they came out towards the 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 bad boy era when it was kind of like slowing down. It
Yep.
wasn't that power machine that it was back in the early 90s.
Yep.
So
That's right.
this is when that was like slowing down, and basically the Dirty South movement was in the works. So that's when they came about. But it's other artists. I want to know if like what other artist is gonna come forth. If this did go to trial, it would have, and if it does, if anything happens where any kind of criminal case is brought up, this all of this with the the NDA thing might basically cancel that out if it turns into a criminal case.
Well, I
So
think honestly, I'm not even thinking about the artists. I'm thinking about the other women that possibly are victims that he's been in relation with. That may be the trail because we've seen a woman previously come forth, but nobody really. It didn't seem like it went anywhere with people taking her seriously. She talked about abuse, so I think the focus probably will be more on other women that he's been involved in and victimized allegedly versus the artists that he's worked with.
Yeah. I'm thinking about the women. I'm thinking about assistants. I'm thinking about makeup artists, hairstylists. I'm thinking about all
I'm
those
thinking about all of that.
who
And
witnessed
The
NDAs
stuff.
chef,
do expire.
people that
They
witness
do expire
things,
though.
huh?
All contracts expire. So
Yeah, exactly. And I want to, and that's my thing with that. And like I said, if he okay, this is the question. Okay, so we know about Kim Porter and her, and they was possibly talking about reopening this case. Do you think this ruins the shot for her? Because now that she took this money, she's not going to be able to say anything anymore. This is it. She can't speak about it.
Who are you talking about? She.
she
Cassie.
has a
Cassie, she
35
I don't
cannot
think
day
speak
she
about.
would.
document. She
I
has
don't
a
think she
35.
would want to. Who will want to speak on this? And I honestly feel like she was kind of saved by him settling because who wants to go through this in court? She already had to, discuss this information for it to be in the document. So if I'm just
That's
speaking
enough for me.
from her point of view, I put it to bed. And I feel like another great reason why um it was good for her, as some people would say, spill your own tea, because they can't throw that back at you. Because if she would have left out some of the details that she had to deal with, Puffy could have came back and say, hey, I can still get back at you because you was doing this, this, and this. You can use that to weaponize her. But she said, no, I'm going to put these things, even though I'm going to be possibly shown in a bad light, I'm going to put this out there so you can't weaponize me for what things that I've done that has been quote unquote unsavory.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if I was Cassie, take my settlement, live a quiet life, and try to heal, because that money should be used towards therapy. A lot of it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, I
That's
agree.
what she's gonna do. I think you're right. We're not gonna hear from her anymore. She's been quiet all these years. She's gonna go back to being quiet, like she has been, living her life with her new man and her 2 children, and be happy that she's alive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That part. And I don't think
Okay.
she owes us anything else.
She doesn't.
She has a 35-page document.
Exactly.
Those are her words. That's her voice. Now, whether or not the authorities want to do what they will with it, that's on them. She got what she needed. She got what she deserved. He paid her for her pain. Case closed. Good night. Stop being mad. Y'all be telling on yourself, child.
All right, so while I was gathering my information, this was the last thing I saw. They said this is the first picture of him since everything has been settled.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And he did this.
He looked like
this
he got
looks,
stomach ache.
yeah, he looked like he got bubble guts, y'all.
He's tore up over this. He's tore up over this because I was telling
He's
my sister,
tore up.
he's
But
tore up.
do you think this is like all smoke and mirrors where he's showing this for
No. Diddy is tore up over this. Are you kidding me? For the last at least 15 years, he has not been a part of any scandals. Diddy has had a squeaky clean career the last 15 years. Nothing major. All the drama he had was in the past. The J-Lo thing that happened in 99, the Tupac Biggie thing that happened in 96, 97, whatever. After that, what was the next? I mean, he hasn't had a scandal in at least 10 to 15 years. So he's had it pretty squeaky clean. He has. The most we've heard, again, are the bad contracts. You know, Mace puts him on blast about the money, but that's stuff people been hearing about, the money and the bad boy contracts and the not pay. That's nothing to be shook about. This type of stuff is ruining his career, his reputation. Diddy is like, he's Diddy. So yes, that ninja is over there stressed out. He don't know what to do with himself because he called her bluff. He did not think she was going to come forward.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He read that transcript and was like, give her the money now. After his lawyers read that crap and called him like, you better settle. Because if this goes to court, can you imagine if this went to court?
Yeah. I disagree about, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, could you imagine if it went to, we're talking depositions, witnesses. Are you kidding me? He had to settle.
Yeah. I disagree about the squeaky clean thing because I mean, I kind of keep my ear pretty close to the street. So every 6 months, I'm hearing something new about it.
But y'all know what I'm talking about, though. It doesn't matter what you hear. We're talking about his career has not been affected in a negative light in at least 15 years. He hasn't had any huge scandals. He hasn't lost any contracts.
We don't know that though, but
we don't, because he did the last.
Y'all playing on my intelligence. Y'all know
I'm not playing on your intelligence. I'm saying you don't have necessarily proof of what he's losing or has lost in the past. I see what you're saying. Public perception, does not say he's losing.
That's what
we don't know the background of what's going on.
Right.
But Diddy has always been flawed. If you paid attention, he's always been flawed. Nobody ever thought Diddy was a saint. Just like how you said, I feel like the fact that she had, in his eyes, probably the audacity to make him pay for his, the alleged abuse that he's been doing to her. I think that is what got him, because now he probably doesn't feel like, oh, I'm untouchable anymore. Because he's been able to continuously give us bad behavior after bad behavior after bad behavior and still be quote unquote successful and live his life lavishly, while the people that has, he has victimized been suffering. So now it's somebody that came along, and I don't even say the word one, because he still damaged a young, beautiful girl. You know what I'm saying? That she would have to live with those things forever and ever. And those are just 35 pages. They've been together for over 10 years.
Exactly.
A 10-year relationship, that can be a Harry Potter slew of books. So that's just I feel like that's still scratching the surface of the things that we do know.
Exactly.
Okay, so this is what they said after
Kim
Porter passed. She started the legal papers, like, as far as that. Do you think that her and Kim had a conversation? Because remember that she was
they
coming
had
out
a relationship. They did have a
yeah,
relationship.
so like
I don't know.
It's
I
been
don't
said
know.
that they had a conversation, but of course we wasn't there. We don't know. But I've heard that they possibly did speak, and Kim possibly gave her some tools on how to escape, per se.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, that's hearsay. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
For me,
yeah, we just, some of this stuff is speculation or alleged. There's the disclaimer.
Exactly.
So we just basically talking to,
we weren't there, so everything has to be speculation.
Yeah, it's all speculation.
I'm just
no, I get what you're saying. I agree with you, but people just think we're talking out of because we was there. We know we wasn't there.
Right. But I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Y'all not gonna agree with me. I'm not sold yet. I'm not sold yet about the Kim Porter thing. I think it's a cute story that people ran with and are going with it. I just don't feel like we have enough evidence to be like, yes, he axed her, he got rid of her. I don't know that to be true, in my opinion. I don't feel like that. It's a cute story.
I mean, when you start looking at Uptown Records in the beginning of all that,
I don't think he had anything to do with Heavy D. Heavy D's ass died how he died, okay? Because he was overweight, and I loved Heavy D, but we're not about to put that on Diddy.
But are you speculating that Diddy didn't answer? We wasn't there. It goes both ways.
But I know, but I'm just speaking up from my opinion. I'm speaking from my opinion, because a lot of y'all do think that he somehow had something to do with Andre Harrell, who was his best friend, who Andre Harrell probably got dirt on himself anyway, rest in peace, but he probably got dirt as well. Y'all saying that he did something to Heavy. I just don't agree with that theory that, he had all these people from Uptown axed. I don't agree with that.
Well, maybe it's different. Speaking, Moochie, I feel like it's different when you kind of are.
But it's hearsay.
I feel like the older people had. I feel like the older people had time to see P. Diddy reinvent himself, where they're actually forgetting about what happened way back.
Yeah.
Now this is another question. Now, do you think men's opinions, and men in the chat, please answer if y'all still here, because it looks like y'all not. If you guys' opinions would change if a man comes forward and says that he was treated in this manner that she was. If a man comes forth, since people are prompted to come forward, will any men come forward?
What you mean?
Nita, you unmute.
Come forward about Diddy? Come forward about Diddy?
Yes, like being a victim.
About Diddy. Okay, yeah.
I don't know, because the way she
do you think a man's point of view will change? Because a man comes forth?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I still think that they still peel cause. But what I'm saying, I think the people that they were hiring were ex-workers. You know what I'm saying? So I think that might just be par for the course. He hired them, and that's what they did or whatever. I don't know if they will come out for a scandal, saying that there was any wrongdoing, because they were working. because they said that they were
Escorts
escorts. Yeah,
or male workers.
right. So
Sorry, SCX workers.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
he
I
did have her go get them, so she would have contact with them where she could have gotten in touch with them.
She could have.
I think the male coming forward, I feel like that would be more of a ooh ah if we were
thinking he was already on the up and up, but we already
well
thought
not
that
up
he
and
was
up, but
suspect.
just we already hear a lot of speculation already with Diddy and his sexuality. So I feel like a man coming forward would not be
Right.
I feel like it would be just like a woman coming forward in a sense when it comes to Diddy. Now, if it was somebody else that we feel that was completely like heterosexual,
Okay.
that I feel like that would make a difference. But now that we, of course, we not in that man's bed, so we don't know, everything's alleged, of course. But at the end of the day, I feel like it wouldn't make too big of a deal because,
Right.
take that.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Not take that.
Yeah, I heard somebody say something about that too on one of these. I done fell down the rabbit hole with a lot of stuff this week once this happened. So yeah, I if that comes forth, it's gonna be some more salacious stuff. Then I'm kind of like they had a thing and they did a retraction in news as far as this whole thing with Diddy, right? They did do a retraction, right? And the retraction was that there is no criminal case. Or was there? What are y'all thoughts?
Wait, what was the question?
Criminal case for.
I think the check
It
cleared.
was saying it wasn't. It was. It's always TMZ, and I feel like they're part of. I'm my conspiracy theorist.
Right.
Everybody can't be seeing the bird fall out the sky and take a picture at the set. It can't be at every.
Every
So
time.
I still my antennas is up with them already. So that's where I'm at with that.
I think the check cleared. That's all.
It knows if
It
somebody
didn't
bad.
clear that day, but it cleared the next day.
Mm.
So they retracted the statement.
It's just interesting with this situation. Like, I feel like anybody over the age of 15 that's at least, at the very least African American knows. I mean, people joke. You don't want to go to the Diddy parties. We already know what's going on. Like the end, it's like seems like it's the America's
already
best kept unsecret. Like you know what I'm saying? Not the fact that this abuse that he had, her, allegedly had her go through. That is different. But we already know the freak fest be happening and the brain the stuff be.
Right.
I think people get so when they thrust in their drug, sex, and rock and roll lifestyle, they get bored. So they try to get creative and do all these unnecessarily, just problematic things. And I just feel like, every dog has his day.
Yeah. They say the tables
I closed out the poll. I closed out the poll. And these are the results. It's 75% yes, 24% says no. So she thought he was. Everybody thinks that she thought she wasn't going to file it, go through with it.
Mm-hmm.
So that it's one more thing. Back in the 90s, Diddy was exposed for how can I say it? He was exposed, and in order to clear everything up, he got Wendy Williams kicked off the radio and sent to Philly. So I'm like, people's not realizing how powerful this dude was back in the day. So it's like Wendy Williams disappeared for a while when that happened.
Yeah.
For a while. She didn't come back to New York to the 2000s.
You are right.
And I'm it's just like, if y'all believe all of that and you believe people's saying stuff about the whole Tupac issue, why do men don't think this is possible too?
The bro code. It's the bro code. They ain't gonna never break that jump.
Okay, Inga said, I remember Sean Combs when he was doing parties at Howard back in the day and used to be a background dancer. Yep, he sure was a background dancer for Stacey Ladishaw. That was before he was even the A&R with Andre Harrell.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
had a
Yeah.
do a party at City College that caused some
Mm-hmm.
deaths, and that was a whole thing.
I remember hearing about
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all showing our age, Inga. That's
Right.
once I started talking about the 90s, they know, like, I ain't know.
Right.
But look, it is what it is. That's why I'm so torn with this, because I was on YouTube. I was watching YouTube before it got censored, and the stuff that we were exposed to back then,
Mm-hmm.
it has me looking with a side eye.
Mm.
So this is I'm gonna close it out on that note. What y'all got going on your channels? I'm gonna start with you, pretty girl.
Yes, tomorrow I will be covering Rap-ish episode 3 with Detroit Kings. We definitely have a good conversation because this show is lighthearted, but it does have a lot of great topics about relationships and business. So we talk about the show, but we also put in, conversation, about, situations in real life. And then on Wednesday, I am recapping, doing my refresher of Raising Canaan season 2. We are discussing episodes 7 and 8 because Thursday is a holiday. But I am in works of thinking about doing a Thanksgiving live at night because I know there's people out there that don't have, family or people to be around. So I just want to, give a little bit of myself, for an hour or so just to talk to the people on Thanksgiving night. And that's all for right now. I will be having a subscriber-thon where I'll be going live 7 to 10 days or putting out content 7 to 10 days consecutively the last week of the month. So please stay tuned for all that as well.
Okay.
Good.
All right, Nonita, what you got going on?
Okay. Well, we just did. I am in subscriber-thon. I don't think I'm adhering to the rules, but I am definitely participating, as you can see from my background. We just did a live recap of Rap-ish season 2, episode 3, which was an excellent, funny episode. Catch that. That was a great time. And we do reality TV talk. So we have a little different zhuzh over on my channel. I cover a lot of different things. I'm not just a power person or anything like that, which I used to be. But this week I'm going to start back getting into my movies, catching up on some movies because I did take the week off. So look out for that. And I just want to wish everyone happy Thanksgiving just in case I don't see you again.
All right. Momo, what you got going on, Monique Nicole?
Yeah, so it is Thanksgiving week and your girl is traveling, so content will be a little bit limited, but Nita and I will be doing reality TV talk this week. Definitely, I think Tuesday, obviously Thursday, Nita, we may have to talk about that and reschedule that because
Right.
that's Turkey Day.
Mhm.
But expect us twice this week to discuss. So on Tuesday, we're going to be discussing Love and Marriage Huntsville and Bell Collective, and then probably maybe Friday we'll talk. But Friday we'll do Married to Medicine and Real Housewives of Potomac.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I think I got going on. Tamika, tell me if I'm wrong or not. It's not. Is it this week I'm doing it? No, next week is the Jacksons family story. So we're doing part 1 on that on Thursday. Just like we do our little nostalgia things, and that's our movie night with the lady who's doing the first part of that. If you are not subscribed to these ladies' channels, their links are in the description. Their links are in the description. Please check out their descriptions. Like I said, I also left. So since if you did not, or if you do not know what was in the deposition, please be sure is I put a link where somebody is reading it to you, like Lovely T is reading it to you, like Mother Goose. So if you might want to check that out, if you are not subscribed to her channel, I want to thank everybody for coming out, dial in for Mother Murders movies. Excuse me, sorry. Candy Love, Tamika, AG, Inga, Tamika's Den, uh Suburbia Jones. I saw Detroit in here, Deary, Wicked 548, Fresh Boy Red Entertainment, uh Tina, and everybody else that has come through. Thank you for coming through. I really appreciate it. Thanks for coming out, y'all.